This is CBC Vancouver News.
If there's any good that can come out of this, it's that we prevent another future collision from happening.
Making Vancouver crosswalks safer. Residents call for road improvements at busy intersections after a crash sent a woman and a child to hospital. And
we need to confirm that Kai is safe.
Billboards have been put up across the province as police ramp up search efforts for a missing 11-year-old boy. Plus,
what we're doing here today is actually changing and saving lives.
Giving hope to those in need of medical care. Volunteers string up thousands of bright lights for St. Paul's Hospital's largest fundraiser. Hello, I'm Janella Hamilton. Thanks for joining us tonight. Some Vancouver residents are voicing safety concerns after a woman and a child were struck by a vehicle while crossing West 16th Avenue and Willow Street earlier this week. Today, a rally was held in Fairview where the crash happened. As Tanushi Bhatnagar reports, demonstrators are calling on the city to make road safety improvements more of a priority.
I want to thank the entire neighborhood for coming out in support of our family and in support of making the neighborhood safer for everyone.
Alec Wint says his child and their nanny were hit by a vehicle Tuesday at this intersection in Vancouver's Fairview neighborhood. It's the latest incident that has residents here renewing their calls for enhanced safety, not just at this crosswalk, but several others along the 16th Avenue corridor.
With the Broadway construction and 12th Avenue traffic, folks are being pushed up to 16th.
I'm at the intersection of Willow Street and 16th Avenue in Vancouver. Residents here say that drivers cannot see the white markings or the signs at the intersection, and that is making this intersection dangerous to cross for families and children.
We want a light! We want a light!
Vancouver police say the woman remains in the hospital with serious injuries. Today, the child is back safe in his parents' arms.
We hope that if there's any good that can come out of this, it's that we prevent another future collision from happening.
Residents say close calls between drivers and pedestrians are common at this intersection. This woman says she was hit by a car in the same spot over a year ago.
A car turned left out of the side street, I guess didn't see me, I didn't see him at all, knocked me over.
Martin Caban wants road crossings to be more visible.
We really want to see a raised crossing there, like a speed bump essentially, to really calm traffic.
With the specific intersection in question, there is a plan for a rapid flashing beacon pedestrian controlled intersection to go in place next year.
But residents say next year is not soon enough. One City Vancouver councillor, Lucy Maloney, says she's pushing to make street safety more of a priority.
We need to make sure that we are paying for road safety, and there's absolutely no prospect of that with this current budget.
The city says it receives an average of 600 requests a year for pedestrian signals and beacons, which are installed based on a criteria including collision history and pedestrian volumes. It says over the next year it will aim to install 15 flashing beacons and 6 signals across Vancouver. Tanushi Bhatnagar, CBC News, Vancouver.
Protests pushing back against policies from the U.S. president swept across North America today, including rallies here in BC.
Millions of people all over the United States that are showing up to say no to fascism and yes to democracy, protecting democracy.
Basically trying to support democracy and our American cousins, putting up with Trump and all the crazy stuff he's doing that's against the law and against the Constitution.
We got to keep the battle up to see if we can't impact what the regime is doing so we can get the orange man out of there.
In Victoria, demonstrators rallied in the rain outside the BC legislature. The so-called No Kings protest voices opposition to decisions made under the Trump administration. The protests in our province, part of millions around the globe. The CBC's Chris Reyes has more on what demonstrators are calling President Trump's authoritarian rule.
A sea of demonstrators covered Times Square in New York City, united in one message: Donald Trump must go.
What's going on in this country is just a complete travesty. The man has lost touch with reality.
They came with signs, they dressed in costumes, they brought their families.
What's the message today for the kids?
That this is what democracy looks like. People in the streets, this is our country, this is our city, and this is supposed to be a government of, for, and by the people.
The immediate feeling that you get from this crowd is that they're peaceful and they're energized. This is one of thousands of demonstrations happening across the country. The last No Kings protest back in the summer drew millions, and all of this estimated to be bigger than that.
I'm here for my students who are absolutely at risk in our neighborhoods and in our school. I have students who are absolutely terrified to come to school.
The movement Build No Kings raises the alarm over Trump's policies, including executive orders to end birthright citizenship, expanding powers for immigration agents, and dismantling government agencies.
We want to show our support for democracy and for fighting what is right. I'm against the overreach of power.
From D.C. to Boston to Philadelphia, demonstrations have been most intense in cities where Trump has threatened to send the National Guard to curb crime. Republicans have clapped back, calling the movement anti-American.
We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that.
Those at the rallies say they can.
No, I don't feel it's a hate America. I feel it's a love America, don't you? I don't see any hate. I think they're fighting for walking.
A fight that the No Kings movement hopes will continue beyond these demonstrations. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
As the search for a missing child continues, police have now set up billboards with his picture in communities across BC. Kier Junos has more.
Burnaby RCMP Constable Joelle Carriage says 11-year-old Kai Pavlovic is believed to be with an unidentified caregiver. The boy was reported missing on September 26th after police were called for a wellness check on him. And after weeks of searching, police have put up billboards like this across BC in hopes of finding him.
And so we are making a direct appeal to the caretaker or anyone who might know them. If you have Kai in your care, you need to come forward and contact the RCMP. We need to confirm that Kai is safe.
When asked if he was in danger, police said that the boy's family had told them it wasn't unusual that Kai was with a caregiver. There was no Amber Alert issued because police said the case didn't meet the criteria for it. Usually there's some risk of imminent danger to a child when an alert is called. A former RCMP officer turned private investigator says the billboards are a good idea, but they may have come a little too late.
When you're looking for a young child, I mean, timing 48 hours, 72 hours is critical.
Kai is described as being about 5 feet tall with a thin build and brown hair. Police also say he has family in New Zealand who say they love him very much and they're calling on anyone with information to reach out to the Burnaby RCMP. Kier Junos, CBC News, Surrey.
To BC's interior, where Mounties say foul play is suspected in the disappearance of a 51-year-old mother of 3. As Shelley Joyce reports, she was last seen just outside 100 Mile House.
Jennifer Provençal has not been seen since February, but the mother of 3 was not reported missing until April. That's when her sister called RCMP.
It's absolutely out of character for her not to contact me after all this time, for her to leave kind of without a vehicle in February, without her purse and her wallet. There's no way that Jennifer would not call me.
For 15 years, Provençal has lived in Forest Grove on this 7-acre rural property with her husband and their teenage son. According to her sister, she was quiet, contemplative, and creative. She loved her pets and talked a lot about her kids. Joanne Provençal might live across the country, but she was surprised to discover her sister hadn't had any contact with her husband for 3 months. It was only then that she called police from Montreal.
But as time has gone on, every day that goes by sort of has eroded I guess, my ability to hope for the best. And at this point, I think it's clear that my sister has met with foul play.
The RCMP Major Crimes Unit is investigating and considers the disappearance of the 51-year-old suspicious. Provençal was last seen at home. Her husband said they had an argument and then she left. He says he hasn't seen her since.
She's a strong-willed, independent woman that, you know, we had a huge argument that led into a whole bunch of different other stuff that we had been arguing over for quite some time. And I yelled some horrible things at her and went to go get hay.
He has opened up the property to police and shared Provençal's personal belongings to help officers search for her. As for why he never reported her missing,
I assumed this was just another her walking out. She has done it a few times, but the other times I did get emails or phone calls saying, okay, come pick me up at this motel or wherever. And yeah, I was assuming that was going to be the case eventually.
Forest Grove is a small community of just over 300 people outside of 100 Mile House. At this co-op in 100 Mile House, staff are used to seeing Provençal twice a month. They say she's stopping for supplies and stay for a visit. Since she disappeared, her husband has been coming by instead.
She also has children, and I don't see her ever just up and walking away from all of that. She put in so much time and energy into her kids and her animals that I don't see her just going.
The RCMP say the search for Provençal is ongoing. They're asking for anyone with any information to come forward. No one has been charged in connection with her disappearance. Across the country in Montreal, her sister waits for information.
I'm trusting that the love that we've had for her will prevail in this and get us through, and that the work of the RCMP and the contributions of the community will bring the truth out.
Shelley Joyce, CBC News, Forest Grove.
The Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada says a Hello Ferry ship struck a humpback whale in English Bay. DFO says the whale was observed swimming north after the contact, but it did not offer any additional details about the condition of the animal. Vancouver Island Ferry Company, which operates Hello Ferries, says its vessel likely made contact with the whale during a scheduled sailing. The company says it followed all reporting protocols, including notifying DFO, the Canadian Coast Guard, First Nations partners, and the whale reporting alert system. Well, it may not be Halloween yet, but one landmark Christmas light display in Vancouver is already getting set up.
Changing and saving lives. Lights of Hope has been running for 28 years, and it's an opportunity for people in the community to donate to help those who are feeling frightened, scared, maybe overwhelmed with health challenges.
Today, hundreds of volunteers got to work building the holiday light display that will blanket St. Paul's Hospital. The intricate construction involves thousands of lights and hundreds of stars and will take weeks to complete. The display will be lit up November 27th. One of the largest and oldest tall ships in the world has sailed into Burrard Inlet for the weekend.
We're basically just testing the health of the ocean, so checking how much oxygen, salinity, microplastics. It's quite unique because there's no scientific study that does a continuous scientific monitoring of the oceans they sail through.
The ship measures 98 meters long and is on a one-year research voyage. It's part of the UN's Ocean Decade project, putting the spotlight on ocean science and sustainability. The Norwegian ship's journey will span 27 ports across 3 continents. The ship will be open to the public to check out tomorrow afternoon in North Vancouver. The Vancouver Whitecaps ended their regular season campaign with a rare loss on Saturday, falling 2-1 to FC Dallas.
Alan Chapman blows the final whistle.
And the Whitecaps are denied top spot in the West on the final day of the season.
The Caps lost a key piece early when Matias Laborda was sent off with a red card just 11 minutes into the match. Vancouver's lone goal came from Thomas Mueller, who converted a penalty kick in the 28th minute. With the result, the Whitecaps finished the regular season second in the Western Conference and will face Dallas in the first round of the Major League Soccer playoffs. A start date for the best-of-3 series has not yet been announced. Saturday's decision snapped Vancouver's 11-game unbeaten streak across all competitions and marked the club's first loss since August 9th. Still ahead, a man is charged with murder after the body of a missing teen was found in a rural area outside Edmonton. That's next. Stay with us. Grief and criminal charges have taken the place of an agonizing search after this week's discovery of a missing Edmonton teen. The CBC's Sam Sampson has the latest developments around the death of Samuel Bird.
Samuel Bird's remains were found in a treed area near a farmer's field west of Edmonton on Thursday. Edmonton police won't say exactly where until they're finished searching for more of the teenager's remains. Only that the region is south of Stony Plain, a community about 40 kilometers from the city. The discovery came after more than 4 months of exhaustive searching by police, search and rescue groups, and grassroots volunteers. Bird was a member of Paul First Nation. He was last seen June 1st in Edmonton's West End. His family has requested media not use his photo for 1 year for spiritual reasons. The day before Bird's remains were discovered, Edmonton police say they arrested 38-year-old Brian Farrell. He's charged with second-degree murder and interfering with a body in relation to Bird's death. He's also facing 13 other charges, including arson involving the West Edmonton property Bird visited the night he disappeared. Detectives say Farrell is the father of someone Bird knew. Police say they're not looking for other suspects and want to put to rest online rumors there are about videos of Bird's death circulating and that others should be charged in his death.
We now fully understand the circumstances and all the nuances that led to this. Anyone in the public who thinks they have a better understanding than that needs to give their head a shake right now. They need to put their keyboard away and they need to stop.
The news of Bird's remains is hitting home with volunteers who came from all over to help look for the teenager, including from Winnipeg, where volunteers lit a sacred fire starting Friday to honor Bird and his family.
It's hard to lose a child. It's hard not knowing where they are. You know, it's to wake up and you know your child is missing. That's a parent's worst nightmare, you know, and our hearts went out to them.
Police wouldn't answer specific questions about how they found Bird's remains or how they arrested the accused, only deferring to the courts to reveal more. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
Authorities in Gaza say the total killed in Israel's 2-year military campaign has now passed 68,000. Accelerated searches after the ceasefire have unearthed more victims. And in Israel, authorities have received 2 more deceased Gaza hostages. Earlier, the identity of another returned last night was confirmed. The CBC's Crystal Gumansing reports.
Israel Defense Forces confirmed this morning his identity, Eliahud Margalit. Now, he was from the kibbutz near Oz, and the IDF says to the best of their knowledge, he was killed there on October 7th during the Hamas-led attacks, and his remains abducted, taken back into Gaza, where they had been for more than 2 years now. It's unclear if his remains were found around Han Yunis. For the past 2 days, heavy machinery has been working around destroyed high-rise buildings. Hamas had said they didn't know the whereabouts of all of the deceased hostages and that they need more heavy equipment and time to locate them. There is a lot of questions around how people are coming close to what's known as the yellow line. That's the military zone still controlled by Israel. Israel still controls 53% of the Gaza Strip. But according to Palestinians who spoke to a freelance journalist in Gaza working for the CBC, very few know where that line actually is. Israeli forces say they will be physically marking it to make sure people are aware, but they want people in Gaza to understand they have to stay away from the military zone and heed any warnings that are given so that people don't end up being shot. There are concerns that this fragile ceasefire could potentially fall apart, but for now, it is holding. Crystal Gumansing, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Here we have a live shot of White Rock Pier on a very rainy day. Is the rain here to stay? I'll have your full forecast next.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and this is your CBC Inbox.
On October 29th, join CBC's Lian Young at the 16th Annual Chinese Restaurant Awards, celebrating Chinese culinary brilliance across Canada and Asia. For tickets and more information, visit ChineseRestaurantAwards.com and never miss a special programming series, event, or contest. Subscribe to CBC's e-newsletter today at cbc.ca/Vancouver Inbox.
All right, it is time now to take a look at our forecast. Let's take a quick peek at the current temperatures around the province tonight. Fort St. John, a chance of flurries overnight and a low of 2. A lot of precipitation in places like Prince George and Williams Lake with a low of 2 overnight. On the island, similar conditions with a low of 8. Heading into tomorrow, that rain is going to dry up for Prince George with a mix of sun and clouds and an expected high of 7 for tomorrow. 12 in Kamloops, similar conditions in Kelowna with a risk of thunderstorms tomorrow. Same on the island, a risk of thunderstorms and a high of 15 is the expected high for Victoria. A bit cooler in Tofino. In Metro Vancouver, rain, and more rain is expected for our week ahead. 13 is our high for Sunday, and it looks like those temperatures will stick around for the days ahead. That is your late news for this Saturday, October 18th. Thanks so much for joining us. Tanya Fletcher will be back tomorrow to host the weekends. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your homes. Good night.